Today's training. Again, we're going across multiple platforms, so I'm going to make this gym specific, but also specific to any kind of business, right? And how to run Facebook ads. Now, I'm going to go over the four strategies that work for brick and mortar businesses, specifically that we use for gyms, right? Now, again, I don't run ads for gym owners. I don't. I just know how to do it, right? I do it for my gym. I do it for many other gyms that I've helped with. I teach it, right? I don't do it for you. However, I think that it is absolutely something that you can do yourself, given a couple things. Number one, you understand how to use like Facebook Ads Manager, um, and you have some kind of guidance with the strategy, which is what I'm going to be teaching today, right? Number two, you have to have at least some skill level of how to use the software that is required to successfully run ads, right? So you're going to be looking at Facebook, Business Manager, because you're going to need an ads manager. You'll likely need a pixel, and you'll have to have some kind of an idea of how this works, how to set up your payment method. It's not quite as simple as just logging into Facebook and boosting a post, right? And so many times I see people running ads the wrong way, and then they just don't think the strategy works, right? And the strategy works, right? It's just if you do not execute it correctly, there's no margin for error with Facebook ads, guys. If you don't execute it correctly, your costs are going to be sky high, and you're not going to get any leads or whatever you're trying to do with them, right? And so, don't be so quick to say like, "Hey, this doesn't work." Likely you have something set up wrong in the Facebook ads game. Like there's just no margin for error, right? And then the third thing is you have to understand your numbers, guys. You have to know your numbers. Now, if you do not know how to use Facebook Business Manager or Ads Manager, or how to set up an ads campaign correctly, you've never done it before, you either need to take a course and learn how to do it, or don't run Facebook ads, right? Just stay away from them, right? Number two, if you do not have the correct strategy, like the objective, the campaign objective, and the audience and the targeting, that's what I mean by strategically understanding how you're placing ads and who you're directing them towards and what your call to action is going to be. If you don't, if you do not know what those things are, and you do not have somebody that is going, or a course or whoever that is going to tell you what they should be given your goals, stay away from Facebook ads, right? Number three, if you do not understand the numbers, right? If you don't understand cost per clicks, cost per result, right? Um, ROAS, which is return on ad spend. And then ultimately your cost of acquisition to acquire a new customer. Now this goes a little bit past the ads, right? Because we need to understand, okay, of the leads being generated from our Facebook ads, how many of them are scheduling, if that's what you want them to do, or landing on your website page. How many of them are showing up? What am I selling them? Now, given what I'm selling them and the money that I collect up front, and also considering my lifetime value of that customer, does it make sense to have this cost of acquisition with this lifetime value, or this amount of money up front if you're tight on cash, right? If you do not know those numbers, right, and you are unwilling to learn them or have somebody help you understand them, again, stay away from Facebook ads. However, if you do know those three things, or you are willing to have somebody teach you those, right? Or buy a course, or I would say read a book, but I don't think there's a lot of books on Facebook ads. But guys, the information you on free on YouTube, the information is absolutely out there. But do not run them blindly, because you will waste money. Period. Right. The other alternative is you can hire a marketing agency, and they know this stuff and they can do this for you. Now again, I'm not a marketing agency. You cannot hire me, and I won't do it for you, right? I just teach it, right? I teach it because I think that it's easy, period. I just think it is, right? There's a lot of marketing agencies that will tell you it's not easy. They are likely trying to sell you something, right? Now, for brick and mortar gyms, Let me just preface by saying that and the reason I say that is because you are dealing with a local community. You're dealing with a freaking 6 to 7 mile radius of a physical location. So the competition level is going to be much lower than if you're dealing with, like, as an example, for FitBiz University, I have a marketing agency, Funnel Heroes. Shout out Funnel Heroes. That run my ads for me. And the reason I do that is because the competitive landscape is so much more, well, competitive, right? And so because of that, the people competing against me in that arena are spending a ton of money, and we have a big audience. We're going after customers across the entire country, across the world, you know. And so because of that, we need to have every strategic advantage that we can have, you know. And so these guys know much more than I do about this, because I think that, you know, to run ads for a gym, you only need to be so proficient. I think that the more you dig deeper and deeper and deeper, those things are diminishing returns. They're not gonna. It's not gonna change the results just because you're doing things deeper and deeper and deeper, right? But for a certain type, like let's say you're selling T-shirts, right? Custom T-shirts. Do you know how freaking competitive that might be when you're considering the national or global landscape? Oh my God, there's probably a million companies that sell custom T-shirts, right? So if you want to beat out those guys, man, you really got to know this stuff. But for local brick and mortar gyms, I think it's easy. I'll teach it. I'm teach you right now. I teach you I'll teach you the strategy right now, okay, of what's working in 2024. This stuff, let's say you learned how to run ads in 2018, 2019, 2020. Guys, it does not work anymore. You can keep trying to do it, and you will still not be effective. Okay, so you have to learn what's working now. And so I'm going to teach you what's working now. Obviously, guys, if you're a student of mine in FitBiz University, this might be a little bit of a refresher for you. The biggest difference is I give you all of the ad copy, all of the ad creative, all of the placements, exactly step-by-step instructions on how to tactically do this, right? With any process, right, there's the strategy and there is the tactics. The strategy is what are we doing and why are we doing it, right? And the tactics are how are we doing it, right? And so I give you the how and follow my screen type of thing. But for these free content videos, I will give you the strategy, okay? And so let's start off with the 4 ways that we can run ads and the objectives that would make sense for a gym, okay? And for any small business, really. So just I'm gonna write them up here. Let's see how we looking. Okay, so number 1 we'll talk about is a conversion. Conversion ads. That's number 1. Now, what is a conversion ad? This is a style of running an ad to a landing page, which could be and a landing page is a website, right? But it's typically just one single page that is designed to have somebody take a specific action, right? Some of you guys are familiar with ClickFunnels. Some of you have funnels on Go High Level. Some of you have different, third-party funnels. But it's a landing page, and the reason that they're called conversion ads is because you, as the person placing the ads, you set the conversion mechanism, right? And so what that means is, what do you classify as a conversion? Okay. Now, most people are going to classify an opt-in, and an opt-in is somebody submitting their name, their phone number, their email address. And when you capture that information, that's what you would tell Facebook, hey, that's my conversion event. And you do this by installing a pixel, right? So I'm going to write, you'll need a pixel, and you'll need to use what's called CAPI, custom API, right? And so what that means is, you'll need to understand these 2 things. The pixel is going to be what tracks that user from Facebook, then leaving the platform, but still reporting that information back to Facebook. Okay, you'll need to have that installed on your funnel, right? CAPI, custom API, is again another code that you would install on that landing page, because with the updates with iOS, right, and now other phone carriers, or whatever, softwares for phones, for mobile phones, they don't make the tracking so easy anymore, guys. And so if Facebook has a hard time tracking somebody leaving the Facebook platform, from your ad to your landing page, how can it report back that there was a successful action taken, a conversion event taken, right? It can't. So then Facebook came out with this to make it a little bit easier to track people that don't have that turned on. However, because of these changes, that's why I say, I mean, guys, this stuff didn't exist in 2018, right? It does now, right? And so your cost is going to be higher, period, because it's more difficult for Facebook to track. And when it becomes more difficult for Facebook to track, Facebook has a harder time finding people that will make that conversion, whatever your event is. Now, the thing about conversion is, which makes it different than the other types of ads, is you can set a conversion event to be whatever you want, and you can have multiple conversion events. So let's say you capture somebody's ads, right, or information from opting in, right? You could set another conversion event for when they schedule an appointment to come into your gym, right? And so when you have these different conversion events, what you're able to do then is retarget people that made certain conversions. Or you could set the conversion event to just be people that schedule an appointment. But what happens when you do that? Well, it becomes more expensive, right? Because think about it like a funnel, and people are flowing through. First, you have people clicking, then you have people opting in, then you have people scheduling an appointment, then you have people showing up for an appointment, then you have people buying, and it just keeps getting smaller and smaller. So if you set the conversion event lower to the bottom of the funnel, it's going to cost you a lot more money. So the one thing you should know about conversion events is they are complicated, and they are expensive. Does this mean they are bad? No. You just have to know these things about them going in. I mean, you can crush it. I use conversion ads, right, for FitBiz, not for my gym, right? And you can crush it with this type of ads if you know what you're doing, right? Because now I can get so freaking detailed on what I want my conversion event to be, right? And once I set that conversion event and I have a really good everything installed to track the hell out of it, guys, like that's great for me because I have a really unique avatar, right? And so it allows me to get really detailed. So that's the first way to run ads is conversion events. Now, in order to do this successfully, when somebody takes that action, right, whatever it is that you want them to do, you need to follow up with them right away. I prefer having something in there that allows you to self-schedule an appointment to come right into the gym, right? So after they submit their information, allow them to self-schedule an appointment. Again, I'm not going to teach you how to do that, but just the strategy, what to do and why to do it, right? Not how to do it today. All right, so have them self-schedule an event, an appointment to come into the gym or a phone call or however you like to sell people on your membership, right? And then send them a couple appointment reminders. This can all be automated, right? That's how you can have a successful conversion ad campaign, right? Now, of course, you're going to need to have a good offer. You're going to need to have a good copy. And let's assume that for all four of these different that I'm going to teach you today, good offer, good copy, whatever. Okay, so conversion ads, this would be selling an offer. In most cases, you're going to give them the offer. So let's write this down here. And you're probably thinking, well, don't you give your offer on all of your ads? No, you don't, right? There's different objectives where you're not promoting the offer, okay? So that's the first one is a conversion ad. That's if you're sending them off of Facebook onto a landing page or your website or whatever, and you are making the conversion elsewhere, right? Let's talk about number two. Okay, number two, Facebook lead ad. All right, this is similar to a conversion ad, but they do not leave Facebook, right? You are able to collect the lead information directly on Facebook with a Facebook lead form. That's the whole conversion mechanism. They never leave. You do not need a pixel. You do not need Cappy. You don't need either of those things. All you need to do is create a Facebook lead form, right? And collect the information that you want to collect. For me, I run these ads and I just collect their name, their phone number, and their email, right? Period. Okay, so Facebook will store this information for you, right? Stored lead info. Okay, it will store the information for you. You can go into Facebook and you can download all of your leads. I do not recommend doing that because it is not taking advantage of any kind of automation, and Facebook does have open API integration, so you can really take advantage of it. As an example, lots of software, including my software, Lead Center, will directly integrate with Facebook lead forms. What does that mean? It means that when somebody fills out your Facebook lead form, they immediately get put into my software and into a nurturing sequence of which I want them to receive emails and text messages, right? Now, what those emails and text messages say, dude, that completely depends on what your objective of your ad is. Let's say it's schedule a no sweat intro, right? Come on into the gym, sit down with us. We're not going to put you through a workout. So really what I would do is on my ads, I might say like, check out Body by Design, home of the transformation program. If you've tried this and this and this and this and it's never worked for you before, look, we have something built specifically for you. And all you have to do is click on my link, schedule a no sweat intro, right? And we'll talk all about your goals and see if we're a good fit to help you out with them, right? Or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So the call to action is click on the link, right? So what happens? What happens when they click on the link? They get brought to my Facebook lead form. They fill out their name, phone number, email. Immediately from there, they get put into my software. Okay? Now what happens after they fill out that form on their end? Well, it will say, thank you for filling out your information. Go ahead and schedule your no sweat intro. So it brings up my calendar, okay? Make sure you have it do this if your objective is to get them into your gym, right? And allow them to self-schedule. Now, if you don't know how to connect your calendar to a Facebook lead form, again, that information is probably on YouTube. It's not hard to do, but allow them to self-schedule. Okay? Now, when they end up in your software, you should have some kind of logic, right? To know if this person's scheduled or to know if they didn't schedule. Because guys, not everybody's going to schedule. They may enter their information, right? And then they see your calendar and maybe none of the times are convenient for them. Maybe they look at all the times you have open and they're like, oh, dude, I'm not open during these times. You don't want to lose that lead, right? And so what do? Well, we have them in our software, and our software is largely nurturing that lead, giving them good information, maybe allowing them to have some additional times, maybe, talking with them a little bit about their goals, whatever it may be. We want to keep them warm because they're interested in your thing. They just don't have a time available, right? So your software should be doing this, right? If it's not, then you are likely going to probably have less appointments or whatever your conversion whatever your objective is, less of that's going to happen because it's going to rely on you to do all of that work. And, you just don't have unlimited time and bandwidth. In fact, for our software, we use OpenAI's ChatGPT with a custom built bot that we call Gym Genie that does this 24/7. It's all it does is schedule these appointments after, ads or leads opt in, right? Or organic stuff, whatever it may be. Okay, so that is the second way. We are collecting Facebook lead ads, directly from Facebook, their name, phone number, and email, and then we can contact them. And what I recommend is automating that second process where you can contact them. Okay, number 3. Facebook group ads. Okay, so this is another really cool type of ad. It was more effective back in. Oh, let me before we go into Facebook group ads, I wanted to give the pros and cons of Facebook leads ads, like I did above. The pros are less expensive. Easier to do. Need Automation, not required. Sorry for my chicken scratch, guys. But automation is not required. So they're less expensive, right? And I'll put some dollar signs here. This is probably $50 per conversion event. Okay, this is probably going to be $25 per lead ad. Okay, per lead. Okay, and and the pros are that they're less expensive and easier, and that automations are not required. Okay. Um, the cons are that they can be expensive if you do not have any kind of follow up automation. Okay, Facebook group ads. Okay, that's the third way to do this, right? So what are we doing? Very similar to a lead ad, guys. You can send it to a Facebook lead form. So lead form, or a funnel. Cool. So they see your ad and it says, hey, local, group, free Facebook group, join my free group for, anybody in the Brookfield area that wants to, get fit and stay fit. Like I have a free group in my area and I call it Fit for Life, a group for Waukesha area residents that want to get fit and stay fit for life, right? So this group is not on behalf of my business or my gym, right? Because that would make people think that I'm just trying to sell them the entire time, right? And I'm not. What I'm trying to do is build value and build goodwill in that group, right? And so then you might be thinking, well, why then would you pay money to put people into this group if you're not going to sell them anything? Well, I absolutely am going to sell them stuff, but just not from the group, right? I am going to give them an offer on the back end. Right? Now that means I need to have some sort of software or automation that is collecting all of this information. So when it's time for me to make them an offer, I can make them a very clear offer. Every one of them, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to run ads that say, join my free group. We are either going to capture their information via a Facebook lead form or via a funnel, like a conversion ad, whichever one you prefer. I like using Facebook lead forms. It's more simple. Could you possibly get it cheaper and more effective through a conversion mechanism? Yes, but it's going to take you a lot more testing, period, right? You got to test a lot of variables with funnels, right? You don't have to do that with Facebook lead forms. So again, if you don't really know what you're doing, stay away from, conversion ads, pixel installations, CAPI, all of that stuff. If you do know what you're doing, then you know that how the testing works, and you'll likely over time end up with a better outcome, but it'll take a little bit longer, right? Either way, get their information and then redirect them to your Facebook group. Now, I redirect them to my Facebook group with an app called URL Genius. Yeah, URL Genius. I use that app because it allows them to stay on, it allows to open up the Facebook app to get them into your group. Okay. Now, again, this part is not too important, but what happens when you see an ad, right? You're scrolling, see an ad on Facebook, and you click on it, right? And then it takes you to a different page, or it takes you to a scheduler, or it takes you somewhere, right? And then you're kind of looking at that thing, and what if there's a button that says join my group, right? You click on it, and it says, oh, you need to log into Facebook. What a pain in the ass. You're like, dude, I already have my app open on my phone. Why would I need to log into Facebook? Because cell phones open up those links with your internet browser, right? They don't open them up with the app, okay? And so I use URL Genius, and if you don't know what it is, look it up, because it will open that link in the Facebook app, right? Because how many people are going to open up a link in their internet browser on their phone and actually enter their login and their password? I don't even remember mine. You know what I mean? And so you'll lose a whole bunch of conversions if you do that, if you do it that way. Just assume, guys, that freaking 90% of everybody clicking on your ad is on their phone, right? So anyways, we get them to the group and then we re-offer. After building value. Okay, here's the whole thing about the Facebook group, guys. You got to freaking build value. So here's how the ad works. Join my free Facebook group. We're going to teach you how to do all this stuff. Eat clean, work out hard, movement of the day, not be sore. not get injured. You're promising all these things in exchange for them to join your free group, right? So they follow your ad. They click on it. They see your group link. Maybe there's a cool little thing in there that says, hey, you want to skip the line and grab a no sweat intro? Click here, right? And it takes them right to your calendar. I'd put something like that in. Let's say they don't click on that, right? They click on their phone thing. It opens up their app, and boom, they're in the group. Unfortunately, you cannot run ads directly to a Facebook group, which is why we have that little roundabout there. But it works great, and you still capture their information. And in fact, you want to capture their information because guess what? We're making our offer via SMS and email. We're not making it in the group. The group is about building value and building a community. That's why your gym's not on it, right? Now, you're providing a ton of value in this group. How to do this, how to do that, why you should get in shape, why you should exercise like this, why you should use this. And when the time is right, you make them an offer, right? And maybe your offer is like, a free 7-day transformation program trial. Maybe your offer is, 50% discount. That's steep. 10% discount on our new year, new you transformation program. I don't think that's a very good offer, but you guys get the point, right? We're making the offer, and let me just explain this really quick, right? When you make an offer to a large audience, right? To a large audience. So let's say you post the offer in the group, okay? It doesn't feel very personalized. It feels like you're marketing. It feels like you're selling, right? It doesn't feel like hey Susie, I thought of this program and I saw that you joined our group, so you must be looking to get in amazing shape. Anyways, I wanted to extend this to you, right? So when you're running your offer to a large audience, it's harder to get people to schedule and to come in, right? Which is why we run our offers on the back end, okay? Meaning email and text. Because if you have the right kind of software, right, and you can do this manually, but it'll just take you fucking forever. If you have the right software, you can insert custom values, right? And so it would say, hey, first name, right? I was thinking about you since you joined our group to get in amazing shape. And anyways, we're coming out with this brand new program we've been working on for months. It's designed specifically for people looking to boom, 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 boom. Anyways, I thought that you would be a great fit for it. And if it sounds like something you're interested in or that could help you, go ahead and click on this link and schedule a time to come in and chat with me. It's a no sweat intro, right? And so we're not going to be working out or doing anything crazy, just talking about your goals, what you're doing right now to reach them, and if there's any way we can help. Sound fair enough, right? And so we're making a one-to-one offer, right, via email and text. We're not selling to a massive amount of people. We're selling directly one-on-one. We're just doing it across 1,000, 2,000 people, right? But they're all one-on-one offers. We're not saying, hey, guys, right? And so I really like this offer. The downside is, but before we get into the upside and downside, you guys get the point, right? You run ads. They eventually end up in your group. You capture their information during that process, and then after 14 days, 28 days, whatever, retarget them with an offer. Provide value in your group so they actually see, man, if these guys are giving away this kind of stuff for free, like, I wonder what I get when I pay them something, So let's talk about that. It is even less expensive. Okay, now we're at $10. $10 to get somebody in your group, okay? And you use a lead form. Oh wait, we already wrote that. Okay, so it's less expensive. That's the plus. The negative is it requires more effort because you have to create content. Have to create content. And maybe you don't have to, but somebody on your team does, maybe a coach, a combination of you guys. Somebody has to put stuff in that group. And the last thing I'll say is you need to have retargeting system. Mostly email and SMS, guys, right? I'm going to draw a line to separate some of these. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay. So you need to have a retargeting system, email, SMS. If you do it manually with your cell phone, I just don't think you're gonna be able to get. I just don't. There's too much volume, right? It's just too much volume, right? So the last thing we're gonna talk about is lead magnets. Lead magnets. Okay, so um, these are my favorite lead magnets, right? What you're doing with a lead magnet is you are literally giving away something for free in exchange for information, their information, right? So here's an example of a lead magnet. The free 21-day at-home challenge, right? And maybe the offer is something like this. Guys, we at Body by Design created this really cool 21-day at-home challenge for all of our members to participate in when we had to close our doors for COVID. But thankfully, everyone's back. Everyone's back now. It's so awesome. And we thought to ourselves, like, man, some people lost 20 pounds freaking doing this challenge. We should just give it away to our community. We don't need it anymore, right? So anyways, if you live in the Brookfield community area and you're looking to get in shape, possibly lose weight really fast, just tell us where to send it. Literally, just tell us where to send this thing. Give us the best name and the best phone number and email, and we'll text you and email you the information. You can log right in. We'll even put you in our group just to hold you accountable to it, right? So go ahead and give us that information, and we'll send it your way, right? We are just literally giving them something, and we're not asking for anything in exchange. And then you deliver that thing, right? But you don't deliver it to them directly when they click on your link or your lead form or your funnel, right? And so you can use lead forms or funnels. When they click on this, it takes them to something that captures their information, right? Don't give them the thing without getting the information, right? So then you would email or text them the link for whatever the thing is that you're giving away, right? It could be a book, like an ebook, not like a physical book. This is a very you want to be able to deliver this at scale with no kind of expense tied to it, right? And so you're building a lot of goodwill. You're building a lot of value using this method, okay? Deliver the thing, build up goodwill, good value. Hopefully you have some kind of a campaign. Like for us, we have a 21-day campaign that asks them how they're doing throughout the challenge and all of these different things. And then we retarget them, right? And this is the cheapest way. $5. $5 leads doing this, okay? So I'm going to bring that up a little bit because it's off camera. $5. Okay, and so this is least expensive. Okay. No content. But must have, whoops, software. Okay? You need to be able to do this at scale, guys. It only makes sense doing this at scale, or else you're going to have, because they're not scheduling anything. Do you get what I'm saying? There's no mechanism that's going to allow them to schedule, so you're just delivering the thing. So let's wrap this up. We have 4 different strategies on how to run Facebook ads, all different, right? And let's say the objective is to get them into your gym and sign them up, right? Isn't that the objective? Let's say we're going to spend $1,000, okay? $1,000 a month. Super low, okay? And if you're like, hey, $1,000 sounds like a lot to me. It's not, right? Not for business, okay? It's not a lot of dollars. When I was scaling my gym, to put things in perspective, I was spending at minimum $10,000 a month for 2 years straight, okay? And if that sounds ridiculous to you, we were just playing different games, right? I was just dead fucking serious about scaling my gym, and you are playing a very conservative game, okay? I'm not saying one way is right or wrong. I'm just telling you that we viewed the same situation, growing a gym, in 2 different ways, okay? I was successful growing my gym. You may be successful being much more conservative and saving dollars. I just don't know anybody that does it that way, right? And so, anyways, that $1,000, it would give you 200 or not 200, 20 leads, right? 20 leads up here. Now, if all 20 of those people are scheduling and you're closing freaking, 12 of them, that's great. Guys, that's freaking great. That's a great use of your money. Spend more, then close 24 the next month. Okay? But it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice to get 12 closes from $1,000. This is one way to do it. In this case, instead of 20, you'll get 40. Okay? That gives you a little bit more margin for error, right? But you still want to be able to convert enough people for it to make sense. ROAS, your return on ad spend, not necessarily just the upfront cash, but the lifetime value, right? And which mechanism that you use, or which strategy you use, maybe really does depend on what you're actually selling when they get to the gym. If you're selling very low ticket items, like, man, maybe none of these are going to work, right? But if you're selling higher ticket programs, transformation programs, you can probably be successful doing any one of these. And it's really what you're most comfortable with, or what you feel makes the most sense for your business, right? Here, in that same case, you're going to get, 100 leads, right? $10. You're going to get 100 leads instead of, and so, in that case, but now you have 100 people that you're entering into your Facebook group every month at $1,000 ad spend, right? That's 100 opportunities to turn them into new members, right? But you do have to provide content so that when you actually extend an offer to them, they're like, yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to do that, right? If you're not doing a good job on following up and providing content that they actually enjoy watching, right? And if you're not that kind of person, just know that going into it. But it might be a little bit harder for you to get those conversions, right? And finally, at the bottom, you're going to get 200 leads. 200 leads, no problem spending $1,000 using this strategy, right? But you have to have a back-end engine that turns them into customers. Otherwise, you're just collecting it. We call this our list builder. We use Jim Genie for this. Jim Genie schedules the appointments. This is a banger, guys. This works so good when it's set up correctly. This is the new way in 2024. This is the old way, right? Does it still work? Yes, but you have to know what you're doing. There's no margin for error, because guess what? In 2018, 19, guys, these ads, these were $5. How the fuck can you lose when you're getting conversion ads for $5, people scheduling appointments and coming in? Pretty hard to lose. It does not exist anymore, and it's not coming back. You want $5 leads? You got to use lead magnets, right? And you have to have a good back-end conversion mechanism, or else you just have $5 leads. Doesn't mean it's any members. If you want to collect $5 leads, that sounds like a very fun hobby, right? If you want to turn them into members, it can be a really cool business, right? It's up to you, but you need to have the back-end engine. Any one of these methods will work. Figure out which one makes sense for you. If you have no idea how to do any of this shit, figure it out. Learn from somebody, hire somebody, buy a course. It's not an excuse that you don't know how to do it. None of us knew how to do it until we learned it. And reading about it and watching videos, that's knowledge. But actually doing it and applying it to your business, that's when it becomes a skill set, right? And the entrepreneurs or the gym owners that I know that have the most skills, which means application of knowledge at their business, those are the guys that win, right? So get after it, freaking run some ads. There's a lot of organic first stuff. Guys, I prefer organic before ads, right? I like to use all of my organic channels before I ever dig into any of these. Right? But when I want to, when I want to just flood the gates with new members, I turn these suckers on, right? So hopefully this helped you guys. Hopefully you got some good information. And I'll see you guys in the next video when we're teaching about some other stuff. We're out of here.